Hey dude, we're getting set up for your rite of passage, man. I'm so grateful to have you as my son, and man, we're really excited. We put this trip together. It's been about 2 years in the making, and just so proud of you, man. You're ready to ride, and you're growing up to be such a good young man, dude. I love you. Your 13th birthday marks the beginning of an incredible journey. A journey from boyhood to manhood. As you step into your teenage years, your mom and I want you to know how deeply proud of you you are and the young man that you've become. Together we will seek the courage for the challenges you will face, the wisdom for the decisions you will make, and God's will for the calling that you will embrace. I'm looking forward to walking this path with you. It's a journey that began with the advocate your father, but now with intention and purpose, we walk this together. For many years now, I've been preparing this plan and this pathway to guide you from boyhood to manhood. This is an intentional journey, and I'm not walking it alone. Alongside of us is this great company of men, friends and mentors who are committed to helping you guide you into becoming a man after God's own heart. I'm committed to being the intentional father you deserve, guiding you with love and wisdom as you grow. My deepest hope and prayer is that you will willfully and eagerly join me in this journey. Will you join me?
Hey, Blake!
God, we thank you so much for Blake and for all of these guys and for the journey that we're about to go on. Not just today or this next couple of days, but God, for the next several years as Blake grows and matures into the man that you've called him to be. And God, I just pray, Lord, for safety on this trip, God. I pray for just incredible memories and for challenge. God, we pray that you would be with us all along the way, keep us safe.
He told me that we are going on to help you, like exchange cards for a used search trip.
You! Blake, you having fun?
Yeah.
Ready? No.
Gainer. Go, Miller. Woo!
Whoa! Too easy.
That's a great.
Switch it up.
That will be somewhat metaphorical, but they're supposed to remind you of what this looks like. So one of them is this compass that I've had since I started as a wildland firefighter. I've carried this with me my whole career. And one of the things you're going to learn in the next couple of years is land navigation and how to read all these little hash marks and what this all means and what this all does on a map. But I also wanted to serve as a reminder about what it means to navigate life well, that you always know that Jesus is your true north. And you have a bunch of guys around you that are going to help you remember that. And there's nothing more overwhelming than feeling lost. And so we want to help you learn how to get found and find your way out. And so this compass should serve as a reminder on what is the way that you want to navigate life. This is for you.
Gift one.
And hopefully you enjoy learning land navigation, even though GPS is on everything we do.
Here's a gold and a silver one in here. They're just kind of weighty because your words are weighty. And you know, we're all we're all males trying to be the best men we can. The Bible says, let your yes be yes and your no be no. And live according to your word. And a man is known, his reputation, largely by whether he keeps his word or not. What I want for you is people around you to be able to say, oh, Blake Miller said it, then I believe it. You know, they weren't sure until they heard you said it. Because your words are so reliable. I think part of being weighty, heavy, is that your words are reliable. People can trust you.
You don't want to be distracted by the other things that would take your attention away from holding and seizing the moment that you're in. And a phone will do a really good job of that. So I brought you a Polaroid camera. And what makes a Polaroid camera really special is it's really easy to screw up. You have to be steady-handed. You have to get everybody together. You can't just let it roll and take a still shot. You have to be very purposeful about going, hey, in this moment, I want to capture this.
Open it and hold it while we talk about it. So, inside that carry case is a knife. And it's interesting when you think about it because anything that a knife cuts can never be put back to the way it was before. And just as powerful that is, the person wielding it can use it for reconciliation and healing, and it can also be used for pain and harm. And I think our opportunity to step into manhood is similar, is that the power that God has gifted you and will continue to grow inside of you can be used for harm and it can be used for reconciliation. Be aware of the power God has given you and not to be afraid of it or hide from it, but to leverage it. So with that knife, I hope that you'll be reminded of the sharpness of it and its representation of the power that you hold as you become a man.
Thank you.
Yep. No, they lost it right there.
Because I very specifically remember your dad telling me that when they were pregnant with you. We were in North Park, we were walking from Queen Bee's, and we were walking over to Urban Pizza, and I could tell something was up, and I was super stoked when I got invited into your dad sharing that, because it was just such a big deal. You sit in a really special seat. You are very much like a patriarch of the kids that our community has. You know, my son's 4.
Yeah.
He's 9 years younger than you. Like, when he's 13, you're going to be 22 years old, and I would hope that you would be there to usher him in as a man, as a a college kid or as a career kid or whatever. It's like, it's just pretty cool to think about like the journey of life and even just the day. Remember the day that I heard you were going to be part of our world and our story. So it's wild to think about, like 13 years later sitting here on fire. And I didn't even ride dirt bikes 13 years ago. Like, I would have never have guessed like the idea that we would be sitting here now in this type of setting, getting here where we are. But Nate gave you a knife, and I have in my hand, I have a knife sharpener. And it's interesting, like a knife is a super effective tool when it's sharp. When it's not sharp, it's kind of worthless, right? Like, that knife will only work for what you need it for when you keep it sharp. And even in a dull knife, you could still do a lot of things, but it's going to take so much extra effort. And I think that's what the Lord is constantly looking to us. He's like, when he's calling us into this relationship with him, and he's calling us into faith and into this intimacy of love, and he's calling us into community, he wants us to be sharpened because he knows how much more effective we can be. And if we're more effective, then he can give us more. He can give you more to the life that you're stepping into. Right? As a dull knife, you can only be so effective. You can only accomplish so many things. And so it's just that reality of like finding this tool as you and the tools that you have, but continually keeping it sharp. And Proverbs 27:7 talks about as iron sharpens iron. And the other thing too is there's actually a few different ways to sharpen a knife on this, because there's multiple types of knives, right? And you were just given one. But like, we don't use a pocket knife to cut bread. We don't use a bread knife to whittle a tree. Like, these tools that you'll gather along the way, like, you have to be aware that there's going to be different ways in which you sharpen them. And so as you become a friend and God willing, a husband and a father eventually, and someday, it's like those are all different tools you have. You have to continually find ways to keep them sharp. So super proud of you, dude. It's so fun to like journey this with you and encourage you to keep the knife close to you, because it's an effective tool. It's only as effective as sharp as you keep it. So good to see you.
Good. Love it.
Thank you, Ryan.
You're welcome, bud.
I think I'm like super lucky to have my dad that wants to do that for me, because a lot of people just don't have that. And I'm really excited to continue my journey and just have a lot of fun and learn a lot of lessons and become a better person.
Blake, one of the fun things in it is that you have grown in your ability to ride, and you love dirt bikes. You love KTM in particular. Sorry, Chase. And so I put together a KTM toolkit for you to have, and it has very specific things that if you don't own a dirt bike, they don't make any sense. But as you learn to work on your bikes and you learn to use these tools, it's very much like I believe God has given you a series of unique gifts and tools and talents. Part of the journey you're on is discovering what they are and how you function in the body of Christ, the life, the world we live in. What are your gifts? What are your tools that you have that are very specific and are very different than anybody else's? Because we all have different gifts around this fire. We all have different abilities. We have different passions, and you're in the middle of walking into discovering how has God made you and how does he want to use you and what are your specific things. And so these tools are very specific to the sport you love, which is really fun to share. But I think the one thing that I want to leave you with, the one word, is the greatest killer of joy is comparison. And if you can, at an early age, and these guys have spoken to it, understand who you are as a beloved son of God and a beloved son of Derek and a beloved friend of us, and that is where your value comes as a human being, it will help you counter a culture that really is all about comparison. It's about looking up and saying why I'm better than the other guy, which produces arrogance in a character, which is not healthy and not good. And the other side is to look down or to look up at others and say, if I could only be like that, that produces envy and jealousy in your own heart, which is not healthy or good. And so if you can recognize these emotions in you as you grow and identify them when you're comparing, and to recognize that's just not healthy. You are a unique individual created by God. You are perfect. He loves you. He likes you like you are. You're not done and he's not finished with you. But learn to not compare to others. Learn to embrace others and how their uniqueness, and embrace yourself in your own uniqueness. You'll flourish, because otherwise it robs you of joy.
Well said.
The biggest part about this, yes, we're here for dirt biking, yes, we're here for adventure, but more importantly, I think we're here to be committed to you. Is love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength, all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. We really need to be men who can recognize when someone's in trouble and offer our ability, our skills, our talents to help that person out. So, Blake, I wanted to give you this first aid kit. Remember to be that man who pursues, who sees, not only recognizes when someone's in need, but that springs to action. Is that I wanted you to know that you have such a great example in your home.
Yes.
Think about your dad for a moment.
Right.
Think about his career and all of his work he does in the fire service. Not only as a fire captain, working on going up to strike teams up in Oregon, his USAR team membership that he's part of. This is a person that can show you to look for that. Look for people who are hurting or who are in need, and to really just offer himself and all of his skills. Think about how much your dad trains, right? And all that he has to offer there. And then not only that is his shepherding of the church. You know, he's got a community of people within his arm's length that are all in this journey of life. So you're very fortunate to have this as an example for you in that. Stories to be equipped and provide the care for those in need. So that's where this comes into play. In here, when you open it, there's tons of stuff. I think there's 112 according to Amazon. There's a lot of stuff in here, right? Some of it's simple, right? Some of it's a simple Band-Aid. You know how that operates. You've seen it in action. You've had one put on you. There's other stuff that might be a tourniquet, quick clot, all these different tools that are there for it. But if you don't know how to use these, just like the tools over here, if you don't know how to use these, you're useless, right? You're gonna be in situations where you see the hurt, you see the need, and you just don't have the skills. And so that is why we are here. This is my hope and prayer for you as you embark on this journey for the next 5 years until you're 18, until you're, on your own, is that we are helping to foster in you the skills, the character to develop, to not only recognize the need, but to be able to have the tools and the knowledge of those tools to equip to spring into action. So this is for you there.
That was good.
Yeah. You.
What you guys are gonna do? I could do that. Find the
But when my dad was passing, it was a no-brainer to jump on a plane and go out there to visit him. But to be honest, if I hadn't planned this journey, it wouldn't even have dawned on me to take you out there. It wouldn't have mattered at that point. And so because I'd been thinking about that and preparing for that, when the moment came, we seized the moment. And you got to meet my dad before he passed. And you met a bunch of his family and all of that, which I had never met. And that was a really special part of our story together, which was just a profound gift. And as Sean said, like, we're all growing. Like, I wasn't man enough to go say goodbye to my dad, who wasn't involved in my life, until I had planned to introduce you to him. And then it all came together, you know? One of the things that I wanted you to learn on this journey is how to steward your finances, how to earn money, how to be responsible with it. And well, some of you guys know this story, but we started the envelope system with, allowance and, how are we going to do this? And we've tried many things in the past and failed at it. We've been doing pretty good with this one. And came up with this idea, or found it somewhere, to, give our kids their age and allowance every week. And give chores and stuff that tie to that, whatever. But to let them choose how they want to allocate their funds. Tithing and savings were non-negotiable. Everything else they could dictate. And early on, Blake realized he was aging out of his bikes, and that Doug was very, generous with the quiver of bikes in his garage. But I said, hey, we need to start maintaining these bikes. You need to start pitching in for oil and stuff like that. And so he was really motivated. He's like, I want to do 30% to the bike fund. That grew into him deciding that he wanted to start saving up to buy a dirt bike. And I said, hey, if you save $1,000, which was a lot for this kid at the time, then I'll pay the difference. And what you don't know is that 12 you've been riding this whole trip, 2012, I bought from Doug in March. And believing that would be, that you'd be fulfill your word, that you'd save the money, and you've been super motivated, babysitting, nickel and diamond Nate for every step you got, babysitting his kids.
Sponsor, let's go.
And all of that.
You family sticker on the side of the bike.
Yeah, and then after that, Doug decided I bought the 12 for you, but wasn't going to give it to you until you
Earned $1,000,
which you did literally last week. And then Doug decided to sell his 19, and so I thought, well, crap. So we're in the pickle of which bike do we end up with. And so I've been selling, he's knowing I'm selling Doug's bike for him, but I'm really trying to offload that bike so I can buy the 19 for you. But we're going to put it in your hands. You're going to ride that bike tomorrow down the beach, and you can decide which one that you want to do.
Which bike?
The 12 and the 19. But that's a whole side story.
happy hour. This is his restaurant.
Yeah.
Thank you for your patience, guys.
No worries. We're happy.
Yeah, take your time.
I'm on you.
Last in is you got a crap load of tools. You got a bunch of stuff given to you, and what do you do with them all? Where do you put it? And so I got you this case, and now I need like 3 of them. As a metaphor and a practical example of all of these tools have their proper place in your life. They have the proper time to use them. But the most important thing is you need to know where they're at when you need them. And so this case is to help you keep inventory of the tools that you have. And these are really cool cases because they come with these foam cutouts, and you can literally take this and draw a circle around it and cut this out, and this will fit perfectly in here. And there's more layers of this foam at home. And you can lay this out and be as nerdy as you want, but this is how we carry our equipment on the fire engine. And everything has its proper place. And I've been telling you this your whole life. If you take care of your equipment, what? It'll take care of you. And this is
Great answer.
This is
really good answer.
An incentive for you to organize your tools and your equipment. And I'll buy you as many of these cases as you need.
And knee pads and helmet.
That's different.
You gotta sell off your equipment that you got.
Yeah, exactly.
I have some babysitting needs too.
Yeah. To organize your stuff, and so I think it'd be really cool over time to figure out what place do these tools have in your life, where do they need to go, how do you need to, and the cool thing about these is when you open it, you can tell if something's missing if you put it in the foam cutout. And a lot of these tools need to be cleaned, maintained, and ready to go every time you use them. And so
people think about inheritance, they think a lot about money, but I think your parents are thinking bigger than that. So you have a very rich inheritance of wisdom and friendships and people around you that your parents have intentionally brought around you. And so tap into that.